This is Creso, and this is chapter 37 of the Human Journal. This chapter, I'm going to express how I feel about this whole idea about protesting. And I know I mentioned this in some of my other clips, in my earlier clips, but I drove by just looking at a small crowd of people protesting. And I remember I talked to a friend of mine a few months ago back about this when I on my human journal, my human paradigm clip, I mentioned about the protest, for example, and I was talking to her about just the whole idea of people protesting and the deeper, just the spiritual aspects behind it and the mental and a lot of it had a lot to do with ego. But yeah, I had experience in a protest. I had a job a long time ago, and I was part of a union strike a long time ago, maybe in the late 90s. Yeah, I was part of the union strike. I used to work for UPS. So yeah, there was a strike back in 97. I was really, my mentality back then, I was like really for the union and all that, and I liked some feelings about it. But then I realized, when my experience working with UPS, I seen the politics even in the union side, and looking back at it now, it's a paradigm, it's an idea, like anything else in life. I always say that everything in life is a suggested, and also on top of that, everything is just lessons, Yeah, I used to see a lot of politics with the union and all that stuff. I was starting to feel my feelings about the whole paradigm at the time. I was starting to kind of step away from this whole thing with unions and all that stuff, and I just didn't like the ideas, other stuff that comes with the paradigm. During that time, I didn't really know who I was. I wasn't where I'm at now, for example, but looking at this protest driving by early, I just got inspired to talk about, just to focus on this whole thing about protesting. Why people protest and all that stuff behind it. And just to go back with my experience in the union strike, yeah, it's a decision making. With many different ways, about going about things, getting what you want. And deep down inside, I never really talk about it, but even though I was at a point that I supported the whole union paradigm, even though in spirit I created the union, so everybody else. And yes, even for you that just don't like unions at all, yeah, you created that too. Everybody is part of the whole thing. Because, with consciousness creates a lot of ideas, So anyway, to go on what I was saying. So yeah, it's just that I like the idea of someone's looking out for somebody, but then there was some feelings I was starting to develop at the time. I just didn't like the politics. I didn't like the corruption that the union bring. And then maybe, I don't know how long, years later, I starting to see the whole thing about, for example, if you're a union worker, you always will be considered the little guy. You're like the little guy. And whenever you go out and strike, you're just trying to topple down the man or trying to shake the man up, right? The man is like, making a joke here. You all know what I'm talking about when I say the man. We all talk about the head of the corporation or whoever that you're protesting. You want to shake them up. You're going to shake them up like a pig. He or she is like a walking piggy bank. Shake all the money. You're just like the little guy. And that's how I felt. That's how I was starting to feel about the whole thing, about being, just the whole thing with the union, you know? And I just have a different perspective about things now. I'm looking at myself, just searching, just looking at myself from the inside right now while I'm recording this. Wow. I am not the same being that I was. It's like, man, I gotta be straightforward, everybody. I hope I'm not trying to offend anybody. And if you're offended at something, maybe your ego, you have to maybe have a little chat with your own ego. But I gotta tell you this whole paradigm, it's a choice. But this whole thing, to me, spiritually, it's like elementary school. It's a level. To me, I feel deep down inside, I see past that. It's like, I don't have to take on a role to be the little guy. That I have to topple down the man to shake money out of him or her. It's the whole thing. It's just, I don't like it. And it suggests also on the whole situation with the union and protest, all that, is that you're a victim. Yeah, you're a victim. I mean, we could choose whatever we want to do. You know, everything in life is experience. If you decide to be the little guy, right, and you want to topple down the man, you're free to do that. You know, if you want to be a victim, like I always say in my clip, you're free to be a victim. It doesn't make you less than me, for example. I mean, I'm consciousness and you're consciousness. You know, we all have to make decisions what we want to do. Me, I just want to do this chapter, express about, ideas and, where I'm at today about that, the whole protest and union stuff and all that. I'm just in a different level. I'm in a different level. And where I'm at, anybody could be there. It's, you just got to really look at that you are worthy. You got to look at yourself that I'm consciousness. You got to see yourself that I'm not a victim. And that because I am consciousness, I'm going to line myself where I want to be. I don't need a fight. That's the thing about the whole protest thing and the union stuff. But, I mean, even though the union stuff is all in the same thing, I just want to just talk about this protest, the same stuff. Strike, protest. If anybody go out and do that, that's your choice. I just want to, this chapter, I want to go in with this whole idea about protesting. Okay? Yeah, the surface part. The surface part of protesting is what? That something happened to you at the place or whatever organization is doing something to you that's not fair, right? That just breathes life. That just ignites the whole thing, right? I want to go deeper than that. I want to really, really go deeper about the whole protest thing. Why a lot of us go out and protest. Shucks. In New York City, man, I tell you, I grew up in New York City. I don't know any other city off the top of my head right now that does more protesting than any other places around the U.S. New York City is notorious for protesting. It could be a small group. It could be a medium-sized protest. You got protesting all kinds of things. It's just that it seems to be like second nature in that city. It's a paradigm. That's all it is. It's a paradigm. People observe what they want to observe, It kind of goes with the environment, right? It goes with the environment. It goes with the belief systems a lot of people hold up. Competition, that kind of is in the mix, It's very simple to break these things down. It really is, By doing this, if you want to break these things down, you got to put your ego aside. You got to break it down because you're consciousness. We create ideas. Okay, we create ideas, and we could strip them down. We could break it down to the tiniest bit. We could do that. See, but you see, the thing is with the human mind, it thinks that, and I had to really go deeper and think about this more and more about people, just myself and everybody. But people, a good number of us, will naturally feel that there's no spiritual situation going behind it. Or let's say, for example, something happened, or we have to topple down the man, right? And, there's no connection about anything to do with me or my creation, right? You see, your ego mind is not going to suggest to you that, yes, you're responsible for the whole thing, right? Your own head is not going to tell you that you created the strike. Like everything, not just the strike, but everything. The victim mentality, the energy that you put into the situation that ignites the whole thing with the protest. This is not anything to knock anybody down. I just want to just go deeper, deeper down. I don't feel a lot of people do this. I don't. We look at things in the surface that we don't like the person, the man, right? And we just want to like playing football. We want to go out there and you want to tackle down the man. Boom! You want to knock him down. You don't care what the mechanism of the whole thing goes and why things happen the way it is, right? It's just that when you're observing a human level, you're just going to see things in a very limited view. Don't take this as a knockdown to anybody, okay? Okay, we all decide to be aware on certain levels. It's all about giving yourself permission. If you want to give yourself permission to be fully aware about all the mechanism of all these ideas that we created, okay, and you want to give yourself permission to break these things down into the smallest tiny micro, you could do that. I mean, shucks, you put it together, right? You set the stage. You created the idea that you're the little guy, right? And we created the idea of the man, right? We created the whole thing. So that's why I wanted to talk about in this chapter. I want to go in as far as we can. I want to go in as far as I can, and I want to express stuff. And then I want to express stuff that alternatives, because you see, a lot of my chapters I've been talking about, especially on the Human Journal series, I've been talking about alternatives. Why I talk about alternatives? Because it's about choices. It's about not just choice, same thing, options. When you have the feeling that you could create options for yourself and not stay stuck in one particular idea, it feels great. It does. It feels darn good. So it's like, alternative ideas is just, we just talking about options, A lot of you go in there and weigh things out. What's the best option to go about whatever you're going through in life? But again, I just feel like a lot of people don't really take it in deep enough spiritually. I don't feel that, The reason why I'm saying this because, you see, I look at people and I look at myself because we're all as one, okay? And, when I was at the UPS strike, I didn't really look at things in a deeper picture. I didn't get the bigger picture about the whole thing. I just did it. I just look at the situation with the wages being cut or whatever is being going on, and that's it. I was only focused on a very limited view, or maybe a small surface. But again, I didn't go deep enough at all. So yeah. A lot of stuff that I actually am thinking about now as I'm recording this, the stuff that I'm going to talk deep enough, it's pretty much similar to the stuff that I've been saying in my other clips, okay? But I just want to do my best to come up with an idea, you know, how can we go about it, you know? Because, you see, I'm all about self-empowerment. I like that people, every one of us, okay, that have the full awareness, okay, that you can shift to any reality you want, okay? That's the big thing. I just like people to just be fully aware that you are power. A good number of us don't really believe that. You really don't believe that you are power. I say this a lot of my clips. You really honestly feel like whatever you're going through in life, or the so-called blessings that you get, it's by chance. It's either by chance or a lucky horseshoe that maybe some of you carry secretly. Who knows? Or maybe a cross. A lot of people carry a cross. But whatever. We put power into certain things, you know. But you see, this is kind of tricky now. We may carry certain things, right? We may carry certain things, but ask yourself this question for those that carry a horseshoe ring or a cross or whatever you think that's going to, give you good luck or bless you, whatever. Do you honestly feel that you are in full control of your destiny? A good number of you, are not going to say that. You're going to rely on these, whatever you carry that brings you luck, okay? You look at it as something that's outside of you that's helping you, okay? But you're not taking responsibility of yourself. You're not acknowledging that your consciousness, okay? And that's one thing I want to inspire people to acknowledge, that it's all about awareness. It's all about having a very deep, full awareness. That if you could say to yourself that yes, I'm consciousness, and yes, I'm fully aware that I am placing myself as the little guy, or I'm dependent on something that's outside of me to help me through something. Okay? This is no judgment. This is nothing to be condemned. This is about basically you being aware. Now, if you could actually say to yourself, okay, honestly and openly, and putting your ego aside, and say, yes, I rely on something to help me get through today. If you could at least do that, say that, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, and that's one of my roles, why I came to this world. I just want to inspire people just to acknowledge who you are, to acknowledge that you set all the stuff up. This is not a blame game, okay? This is not saying that you're a loser, none of those stuff. This is to say that I am fully aware, and I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm setting myself up to be a victim because I'm getting something out of it, right? See, I'm able, because, the way I'm talking, I'm able to look outside of all these structural ideas that we created, okay? I'm going to go on with the topic in a minute, but I'm able to look past all that. And a lot of stuff that goes on Earth is, like I said this before, it is like a stage. We actually play this game like we don't know what we're doing. We play this game that there's something separately from you that's guiding you or helping you or blessing you or protecting you. Yet, I'm going to tell you this straight up, everyone. It is you protecting yourself. You're just playing the game of, in spirit now, okay? On a human level, he's not going to say that. In spirit, you set the whole chess piece, everything. The strategy, all that. You did. But you see, if I'm going to talk to you, and if I'm going to try to get to your intellect mind, you are going to tell me, oh no, I'm not in control of my life. Oh, this person that I have to topple down, I have to go protest. I have to fight to get what I deserve. So you're not going to take the responsibility on the human level. You're not going to take the responsibility that you create the whole thing. You see, my friend called this My friend called this when people decide to connect to God level. Okay, this is a really nice way of putting this. When you go onto God level, you're going to say that, yes, I'm going out to protest. Yes, I treated that. Yes, I am a victim by choice. Yes, I decided to do this. And you're free to do whatever you want. That's God level right there. But people that observe on a human level are not going to say that. You're just going to sit there and feel like there's something has powers over you. And there's nothing you could do. You have to fight. Maybe you might win something. Oh, wow. So, yeah, I wanted to say this. Protest. I thought I was going and meditating a little bit when I saw this protesting early. I said, my feelings about all this is that this is something I'm going to share. This is what I was expressing to myself, meditating. It's like, if a lot of people decide, instead of protesting, it's like, if you could, if a lot of people just decide to if you don't like something, shift into something else. Like, for example, I'm just expressing on alternative ways of going about things, okay? You don't like something. Let's say you and let's say 100 to 500 people, right? Everybody's on the same page, right? You don't like something. I'm just going to generalize something, okay? Just generalize it. So just please follow me. So you got 100 to 500 people, for example, protesting. They're upset at this organization, You feel victimized. You feel something's unfair, whatever. And my thing is that if you're not happy with anything, any paradigm that you put yourself under, okay, whether it could be a corporation, whatever it is, just want to tell you this, everybody, you have power to leave that space or shift into something else. You are power. You don't really have to protest, I like to just give a scenario. Sort of create a scenario. 100 to 500 people decided, instead of protesting, whatever they want to do, they just went out and did it. Yeah. If you're not happy at a corporation, maybe 100 to 500 people, for example, create a corporation of your own. Put the power in your hands, okay? Because, you see, everybody, I'm only talking through experience now. You see, this is a choice that we make. We're freedom to choose whatever we want. All I'm going to say is that taking a route on the victimhood, you're going to create more of the same, okay? You're going to create more of the same because it's the paradigm that you decide to stay in. So you're going to create more of the same. You may win, let's say you might get a settlement on one battle, but then, there's been a lot of cases that corporations, when let's say your union contract, let's an example now, okay? Your union contract expires in, let's say, 4 years from now. You have to protest again because the corporation that, for example, that you've been protesting or strike is going to, follow through. It's going to stay there. It's going to still manifest the same thing over and over. So you're going to find yourself in a picket line all over again, right? It's an example now. Some cases different now. But I've seen the situation. I learned so much in New York City when it comes to union strikes, protests of all types. It's like it seems it's a pattern that goes on for a long, long time. And a lot of people feel that it's the only way to be. You feel like, the only way to get what you want is that you have to go out there and protest. And, I was given an idea about 100 to 500 people just go out and start their own thing. Just forget about the whole protesting thing, It's like you putting the power in your hands, okay? Okay? You shift it out of that business, whatever the business that you don't like, and whether if you're not getting paid enough or you don't have those nice, lovely benefits, health benefits being cut away or whatever it is, right? But people, I see, this is what I envision. I want to just express this in this clip. People, again, you put in the power in your hands because you're power now. You're power to be a victim and you're power to actually take responsibility and say, you know what? I'm going to create something different. I'm not going to stay stuck and play the little guy. I got better things to do and try to topple down the man. Because people understand that they're a consciousness. You don't have to worry about losing nothing. You really don't. That's the truth. It's about knowing who you are. And when you know who you are, you ain't going to worry about anything. You are literally taking full control of your life in a way that you are going to feel at peace. Well, it's a decision we have to make. We make choices every single day. Again, we can make a choice to be a victim, to play the victim role. We could do that. And when we do that, I want to emphasize this. When you do that, we are recreating the same thing over and over and over and over. And I see a lot of people don't really get it on the human level. You don't get it. In spirit, you do. Oh, yes, you do. That's why I create my clips. Because you see, I guess maybe I don't say it like this directly, but you see, I'm not just talking to the human level. I'm talking to consciousness. I'm talking to myself. It's the self. Not like Creso. No. It's me acknowledging myself. It's the self, the God in me, taking responsibility and be at that level, at the God level. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm done with this experience. I'm going to shift out of this experience because I'm going to do all these different things, whatever the case is. Okay? That's it. So I'm talking to consciousness. I'm not talking to the human level. Okay? Like it or not, everyone, okay, you are consciousness. Okay? Like it or not, you are God. And I know those that's listening, you might be atheists. So, hey, I can just tell you this. Your source of life, everything in this life, the physical plane and the spiritual plane, okay, everything is connected to you. So, I just want to say that for those that don't like the word God and don't believe in God at all, okay? But the thing is that you are all creation. So yeah, a lot of people, like I was saying, I don't want to keep repeating this, but people taking responsibility and going out doing their own thing instead of in the picket line. Okay, what else? I'm trying to go deeper than this. So yeah, we feel, and it also goes with not feeling worthy. You don't feel worthy, that you deserve great things in life. So you're only reverting back into one particular way. You can either sit there, there's different protests. There's a calm protest, right? There's a calm protest, and there's a violent protest. You got those, okay? Different levels. But, yeah, I see a lot of people protesting. I'm like, wow, And, again, you got something, okay? I mean, you're going to get something what you want, okay? It's just that, certain decisions that we make, everyone, it comes with things. So when you be a victim and you go about in a certain way, again, it's going to come with certain situations. This is no outside force that's punishing you. or anything. You're never punished, by the way. This is that what I'm trying to tell you is that you're creating the stage, okay? You are creating the scene of a movie, right? Or the plot of this movie, right? You're the director, and you're the producer, and the actors, okay? And also the audience. So you creating this whole thing, this experience, because you're getting something out of it. But I wanted to say this again. I want to emphasize. You can shift into different places. You could do different. You have, it's about, like I was telling you earlier, it's about options. Give yourself options, okay? Your ego mind is not going to understand that. I tell you that instead of you going out protest, let's say you got people that take pride in protest to Washington or other places, you're hoping that somebody will hear you. All I'm going to say, instead of protesting, everybody come together and create the life you prefer. I'm going to also put it like this, too. This might hurt your ego, maybe. It depends on where you're at spiritually. I feel that when people protest, I feel that you are asking somebody permission. Or it's like you are pleading with somebody to please, I want certain things. So you're going to go out and protest. That's just how I feel about it. My thing is that you could do that, okay, and you could maybe hope and cross your fingers that somebody that, let's say some big wig looking from his top floor or her top floor, looking down at all these little people protesting, right? And you got, and a person that plays a function as a big wig, you got his or her team of lawyers giving advice, strategy, and it's all politics and all that stuff. And they're all looking down all these little people protesting with these little picket signs and stuff. I used to think that to myself in my head, that when I look at the scenery, the situation, the picture of people protesting, and I look at the area or the building, or it could be the White House, okay, right? And the people that's looking at the people that's protesting, it's like they're just looking at you, like sometimes the situation is, the paradigm. Everything comes with these paradigms. It comes with everything. It'll come. You have somebody that's observing let's say the person that you're protesting against, they'll say, just bug off, get out of here. Or they'll just say, okay, you can protest there all you want. And you're there, protesting still. Again, you're hoping to, cross your fingers, and, hopefully somebody will hear you. And I tell you the truth, everybody, I used to hear so many things in the, I used to talk to people that protest in New York City through the years. Different protests. I can't remember, but I remember there was one big protest about the banks in New York, all the banks. But it's not just the New York, but just the whole situation with the banks and the real estate and all that. The real estate bubble. When a real estate bubble bursts and everybody's outraged with the banks, everybody's protesting, right? But yeah, I used to think to myself that the people that they're protesting against, they're just being watched. Like probably some of the people are amused to see all these people protesting, or just laugh about it while they're just chilling inside a structure or whatever. Could be the White House. It could be a corporation. Especially the corporation got those penthouses, right? Chilling, sitting down, maybe sipping his Starbucks coffee while looking at all these protesters. Everybody got that big old loud mic. All that, I'm like, man, hey, I gotta tell you the truth, everybody. Just seeing the whole picture about being a little guy, you have to fight. It just seems so. It don't really seem appealing to me. It's just not my highest joy. I don't like to consider myself a little guy. I feel like nobody should consider themselves a little guy. But if you're getting something out of it, right? If you're getting something out of it, okay, stay there as long as you want. But, yeah, I'm just saying certain things because I'm connected to a lot of people feeling certain ways. A lot of people think that, you have to fight to get what you want. It doesn't make sense to the human mind that you say to somebody that you don't have to fight. You can still get what you want. And most people would say, what? Really? Oh, okay, whatever. That's what a lot of people would say. So you rather sell yourself as a victim, right? Stay out there maybe all day in the sun or raining or snowing with a picket sign, right? While you have somebody on top, okay, the whole stuff that we created, just looking down, looking at you. The whole stuff that we created, everybody. You play the role as a little guy. Okay? What role will you pick? Hey, who knows? Whatever you're getting out of it. But the thing is, everyone, it just brings the same thing. It just reinforces the same paradigm over and over and over. And a lot of us at a certain level don't get it by choice. I'm just nudging. That's all I'm doing. I'm just nudging everyone. I am a being within consciousness to say that instead of protesting, do your own thing. You can still get what you want. Yeah, you can. You got to be open. You got to give yourself permission. You got to put your ego aside. Your ego is going to tell you, oh, don't listen to him. What is he talking about? I don't have no money. Who am I? So again, you're listening to your head, most of you, let's say a good number of you, you listen to your head. So you actually believe wholeheartedly that you have to topple down the man. And I'm just telling you, look, you don't have to. If you want to, go ahead. You don't have to. You can still get what you want in another way. I see people protesting in over in Washington. I'm like, that's the same thing too. I'm like, it's like it does feel that people are asking, and it's very weird, it's very tricky to say this, but it really feels that people are asking somebody permission to get what they want. It's like you're complaining against somebody, but under the same breath you're asking permission. You're hoping a person will budge and say, yes, okay, everybody, I'll get what you want, leave me alone, get lost, right? That's the whole thing. But this is what I see. This is my take on it. Instead of going about this in this type of method, just create whatever you want. Yeah, bypass this whole idea, this route that you've taken, and create it. You don't have to ask anybody permission to get what you want. There's no powers that be. I mean, it's an illusion. We create that stuff, but it's an illusion that, we gotta, ask the powers that be permission to get what we want. Well, we don't have to do that. You just go about and create. You don't like something, everybody? Create the life that you prefer. Give yourself permission. It's not you asking your ego permission, okay? It's you giving the self, which is consciousness, okay? Go at the God level within, okay? But again, I am aware that a lot of people do certain things because they're getting something out of it. But that doesn't stop me from inspiring everybody to give you a nudge, to tell you that, hey, you don't have to go there. There's other ways. There's other ways. That's it. That's it. The overall picture of my experience of being human, of my choice within consciousness, is that I just love to see people to be fully aware and to acknowledge that they control their own destiny, and no matter what decisions you make, doesn't matter. You're not going to hell. You're not being condemned. You're not, oh my gosh, you're a bad person. You're an animal. You're this and that. No. You are God. You do whatever you want. I just would inspire you to go past your human level to acknowledge that I am fully aware. And you're fully aware, and you say to yourself, I'm fully aware that I love to protest. I love to be the little guy. I love this whole experience altogether. I'm getting something out of it. And then I'm going to say, okay, great, good. You're taking responsibility. I'm talking about real responsibility. Okay? I'm talking about in the spiritual, being spiritual about it. Okay? I know this method that I'm talking about is not really talked about, in upbringing and stuff like that. We always go by is that it's somebody that's dictating our lives for years. And then somebody, you feel like someone's dictating your life and you got to fight that person. If you want to fight the person, go ahead. You don't have to. That's all I'm saying. Okay? The thing with the government and all that, protest and all that stuff, and other things too, not just about the government, but the human rights. I'm like, that's another experience, human rights. I kind of laugh about the human rights thing. I mean, really? It suggests, the human rights, it suggests that there's another human being dictating you. There's another human being that's a lot more powerful than you, right? So egotistic. So there's another human being saying that you don't have no right to do this and da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Right? That's the whole human rights. Same goes for women. Human rights for the women, right? And what else? Yeah. Another human being has the power to dictate your whole life. The thing is, I wanted to say this for those that believe wholeheartedly of the human rights thing. You created the whole thing. You did. I did. You create the whole thing about the human rights. You playing a game that someone has power over you. Yeah, you create that whole experience. Yeah, you did. And, it's like, and I'm saying all this because I know who we all are. I know that we are freedom. And it's not by some sort of movement, okay? We take pride, especially here in the United States. We take pride in certain movements and stuff like that, But, I said something like this in my Freedom of Consciousness clip, that we are free to play all the stuff. We are free to go out to battle, We are freedom to go out and protest, ask the powers that be to change his mind on something, to get what we want. Whatever the case is, we're freedom to do all those things, And we freedom to actually create a movement and a bill to tell you, that certain ethnic groups have these rights to go to the bathroom with this particular ethnic group. And then the women have the right to do this with the men. Whatever, like whatever, job occupation, right? We've created the whole thing about that, especially here in the States, about women don't have certain rights and stuff like that, right? And then the women feel like they have to fight. It's a big, big, big story. And all those things is just a game. It is. But see, I'm telling you this, but your ego, your intellect mind, it's not going to like what I'm hearing. It's not going to like what it's hearing. But if you do understand what I'm talking about, and you see through all the stuff, then I'll tell you this straight up. You are observant God level. You just shifted. You actually passed by the human level, and you took full responsibility that you created all that. So yeah, but if you're like ruffled up, like, oh my God, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Then yeah, your ego. It's your ego talking, So your ego is not going to like the idea that you are in full control. The self, which is consciousness, that you are in control of your life, no matter what you do. Okay, no matter what role you pick in your human experience. Your ego mind don't like that because we shape our own mind to be in a particular way for so long. Everything's changeable. You could change your mind. You could shift. You could do anything. And that's what I'm here to say in this chapter. I know I'm going around here and there. But I try to tie everything up together. You know, that's what I'm doing my best here. But yeah, you know, I mean, people protest in Washington and all that. I'm like, you don't got to do all that. You know, why do you have to have permission for politicians? You create the whole idea of this political system. Why? Same goes for people that live in a communist country. Why do you have to go out and protest? And then you also agree, especially people in China, they protest and then they get broken up into police, these police militaries and all that other stuff, whatever, you know, different thing that goes on. All those stuff that you sign up. You sign up for that whole thing. But see, your ego mind's gonna say, no, we got this country that whatever country you live, you got the police that in full control, you got the military in full control, and you believe that so blindly, and you're just playing the game. You're in it. I know it's hard for them head. It's for your mind. It's hard to hear that. I got, you know, my friend talked to me about that. Sometimes I get caught in the ego, and yeah, I go through my own moments too. I have to meditate. I have to go past a lot of stuff. I got to remember who I am, and that there's really nothing. Nobody can take anything from me. Nobody. I don't care what proof, evidence, whatever it is. There's nobody. I mean nobody. I don't care what function they observe. Nobody can take nothing from me. And that's the big core. That's actually the meat of the whole thing. Of the whole thing about the whole protest. It's the idea that somebody could take something from you. You see, the God level is that nobody can take nothing from you. And also, let's just go here. Let's just play around with this. Is that you don't need anything. You don't need physical possessions. I'm not saying to break or abandon wherever you live or whatever. No, but just hear me out real quick. You don't need anything because you're God. You see, things come to you. Whatever you prefer, go for it. If you want something, okay, great. But if you're going to go about in a way that you're desperate and you're nothing, right? Let's say you get like a $2 pay cut, right? A $2 pay cut, and your life is over. You don't need to feel that way. Nobody can take nothing from you. You know who you are deep down inside, beneath the human level. You will, and you have the ability. You have the ability to align yourself into whatever you want in life. It's because you are literally power. You are magnetic. You just have to really acknowledge. It's all about acknowledgement. Acknowledgement, awareness, you know, just knowing who you are. Deep down inside. And yeah, you know, you don't have to ask politicians' permission for anything. We created this whole thing. You want a better community? Create a better community. You want a better, let's say, in terms of the environment and all that, you feel like you have to go through lawmakers and all that, but the environment is all polluted because of the factory. You know, hey, everyone, get together with everybody, okay, and create a new reality that you don't have to deal with the environment that's polluted by these factories. Okay? It's about getting together. It's about each individual knowing their worth and knowing their power, that you can create something. So yeah, you are giving yourself choices or options. Same thing. You are literally giving yourself options. How you want to go about things. It's putting the power in your hands. You are powered, though. I'm talking about being fully aware through and through that you are power and that I'm going to create the life that I prefer. And everybody doing this collectively, forget it. It's like, there's really nothing to stop you, everyone. You know, you play the game to be stopped. It's all an experience. You're getting something out of it. But, yeah, I just want to close that out and, you know, express a lot of stuff. I think I covered a lot of stuff. I think I hit hard. I think I did the best I can. I really did my best to really go deeper as I can. I could go deeper, but I think I said a lot of key stuff. Just take it in what I'm saying. Go beyond your ego. Understand that you're consciousness. All right, you're not just a human being. You are. Consciousness. Just knowing that you are consciousness is a lot. Okay, it's like you can't go any higher than that. There's no height. There's no it's infinite. You're infinite. But whatever decisions you make, everybody, it doesn't mean that you're bad. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy. It doesn't mean that you're not deserving. So if you want to play the little guy, okay, you are still deserving. If you want to play the role that you're taking responsibility and you have full awareness of who you are and you're just doing this because you just want to do something because you're getting something out of it, you are still worthy. You are still deserving of anything in life, okay? All right? There's nothing outside of you that is over you. There's nobody that has any power over you, okay? Your own ego is going to tell you these things, that there is some powers that be. You got to fight it. And you don't have to. But if you want to, it's your choice. You're still deserving, and you're still worthy. I'm just want to express options. Just want to inspire everybody that, just to be aware of who you are. That's really it. So, okay, everyone. I'm glad I expressed this. I feel great even expressing this to everybody and even myself. And I truly believe that anybody that's listening to this, that you're going to get something out of it and apply whatever you go through in your life. So life is full of lessons, it's never too late to shift from within, for example, spiritually. So, okay, everybody, until then, I will be back for Chapter 38. Take care.